Well, good morning, Well, it's not Vietnam anymore. Good morning, America. It's probably a little safer over in Vietnam now than it is here in the U.S. Who the hell knows? Looky here what they're doing to the great state of Texas capital. Austin's homeless. You know, my take on this is that there's homeless people that they've always been homeless people around. You know, that's unfortunate, but they've always been around, and that's part of life. But it's gotten very, very out of hand and almost promoted. Now, myself and many others have taken a look at these big cities like Austin and L.A., Portland, Seattle, Denver, getting to be San Antonio, Dallas, New York, the likes there of Baltimore. It appears that the majority of them are ran by a particular political party. And if you're catching on to this game, people, it's kind of like oil business. That's why I know this thing so well. I've been in oil business all of my life, really, off and on. Come from Kilgore, Texas. That's all we had is oil business. And so it's a cutthroat deal. And, you know, how much does pipe really cost? You know, you get what's called working interest if you're a everyday investor, and they have this thing called working interest. That's where all the participants in the drilling package have to pony up each month for expenses. Well, since I own the drilling, you know, the company, it was quite alluring or tempting to pad your cost of your pipe, your everything. And that's an unfair exchange of value, but it was commonplace. And you didn't really trust anybody as a real deal. All you really looked at is no matter what the price, the cost of oil at the time or whenever that's going on is all that matters, because you can overcome, you know, with a 100 barrel to 1,000 barrel a day well, whatever. You can cover that little cost of expenses, but the investor loses out on some potential gain, just like the citizens right here. The U.S. government and the states and local cities, they're all pumping money in. The real people, the hardworking people out there putting in their blood, sweat, and tears to pay their taxes, they're funding all this thing, and they're passing it off to people, to damn near inviting them to come to these big cities so that it will deteriorate the integrity of the cities and degrade them. And the more so affluent, or those that are above break even, I guess you might say, have moved to the burbs, to the suburbs, and leave the city in squalors. And so then they pump in all this helping money, and none of it really, or very little of it, gets to these folks laying on the ground. But people like Pelosi, can you believe Pelosi in California? Do you know in her district they don't even have a Republican vote in that area? If they do, it's not maybe two people. I mean, the whole thing is just set up. It's a setup just so Pelosi and people like Pelosi and Schiff, you know, Schiff, that piece of shit, Schiff, he is in the Burbank area. Burbank, California. And his family, and you can trace this back from research that's been passed on to me, is that when Amschel Bauer changed his name to Rothschild, and all that Rothschild means is their family shield was red. And Rothschild means red shield. They were actually Bowers. They had a partner before they busted off into the banking business, and maybe even after the banking business. The last name was Schiff. Run the genealogy and you'll find out why this piece of shit is so crooked. But that's what's happening in our cities, and they are weaponizing. They're weaponizing relocation. I mean, let's look at it. Let's look at the West Coast, and that's what's going to happen. They're pushing them out of the West Coast, and in the plain states, starving their asses out like they did the Indians, Wounded Knee, and starving them out and driving them into the big cities where they can corral them in. And in the big cities, it's driving the people out into the burbs. And when they get in the burbs, that's when they start them, potentially, we're doing research on it. We need you to help us do research, for God's sake. We need more eyes and ears out there in our country and create our own army of eyes and ears. Your country needs you. If you want to go down in history, join the Friends of Paul Revere, the Silent Supporters Society. Get your name on the list. If it's nothing but a virtual list, you'll know in your heart that you did your damn part to help straighten this country out. And that's what I need you for. As you'll notice on my website, I don't have anybody at this moment. I'm just basically making these recordings. There's a few people listening. I'm hoping that they'll go out and tell 10 people and y'all come over and listen, and then we'll kick this thing off, and I need to put some money in your pocket, because there's nothing better to make a horse run faster than feed and water good. And so you need that change, that jingle in your pocket, and I got a plan to put a whole bunch of it in there if you'll work to help me save this country. We can make America great again, at the same time make you real financially set, because we need you. Great value. Moving right along here. Have you heard about this? I'm sure you have. If you hadn't, it's kind of crazy. The UN is... The UN took claim. Look at it. Listen to this.
Antichrist system is coming soon, according to HNewsWire.com. In August 26th, 27th, and 28th of 2019, there was the first United Nations conference outside of New York City in the United States of America. The UN, United Nations, took over Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah, and claimed.
So that's a very strange deal. There is such thing as sovereign territory for consulates and things of that sort. They're neutral. They're nation neutral zones. And what I always want to do to get to Trump or somebody and say, hey, why don't you just get a neutral zone that's a birthing facility? When you go in there, you're not standing on any particular one nation state's property. You're in neutral territory. When you have that child is born in neutral territory, and it's going to be a citizen of the parents wherever they hail from. And that would be just like going in a consulate. I have a friend here in Kilgore, Texas, that was born in Iran, but he was born in his daddy was a big shot with Aramco. And he was born in a consulate over there in Iran. He's an American citizen because that was sovereign territory or neutral territory. And so that's what we could do here. We could have these birthing facilities all over Hell's Half Acre. And if anybody that's going to have a baby is going to have to be in the birthing facility or one of them midwives or whatever the hell it is, that would consider that to be a neutral zone, a neutral birth. And that way we could nip this crap in the bud. But hell, no one to use logic. So the UN is supposedly they have an agenda called Agenda 2030. And Deborah Savaris, and you'll hear her again in a moment, she'll be talking about the fires in California, how that's all part of Agenda 30. They're trying to drive everybody into urban areas so that we're more controllable. Now, you know what? You know what's so damn crazy? Here's what's so damn crazy. Can you believe it's hard to get your head around the fact that all this shit that we're hearing that's going on, like this I'm talking about right now, could actually be true? Could actually be damn true. Now, what the hell? So what I need to know, I need to know. Inquiring minds need to know. I think I'll start all right, well, that's another little domain. Someone go out and grab it. Inquiring minds need to know. I need to know. I need to know if these people are actually trying to pull this shit off. If they are, we're going to bow up at them. For God's sake, bow up at them. Don't be a wimp. I mean, this is serious business. I mean, when the UN is coming in and taking over, now I can see it being temporary to have a little powwow in there, but this lady right here tells these citizens to get the hell out, that the U.S. is outside the front gate, and inside of here is the UN territory. And when all this bullshit that they are stirring up out there, trying to drive nails between races and religions and vaccines or no vaccine. All that shit is an agenda to drive strife so that they can have a civil fucking war. Excuse me. And then they can bring them damn UN people in here who could give a shit about shooting one of us. you better wake up and smell the damn roses here. Because we're not putting on no aluminum hat or being crazy. Hell, they just commandeered the Cow Palace or whatever the hell it's called, Salt Palace in Salt Lake City up there at them Mormons. Now, they see a weakness and they'll ease in there. They got nothing but damn time, this upper tier up there that's running the whole show. If you think it's the nation state's government, you're wrong, with the exception of Yellowhead. Damn, Yellowhead come in here. I'm talking about Trump. And, you know, he laid back there. And his daddy done taught him right. He didn't come, he came. Oh, hell, just a second. He come from a very well-off family, but they're hard-working assholes now. His daddy was hard-working and drove him kids hard. And so when Trump's the other day, he's talking on the thing there, and he said, well, just like, you know, one of them magazines you see at your grocery store. Now, if Obama said that, or any of them people up there, Hillary, any of them damn idiots up there, anybody up there, with the exception of a few, they don't know what the inside of a grocery store looks like, for God's sake. They hadn't been in there so damn long, they wouldn't know. But Trump, before he became president, I know damn good and well that old boy got out there and hobnobbed. He might have had a big old hand with him in case some shit broke loose that he could level the, you know, handle the situation. But Trump hobnobbed. And I'm damn proud of him. He had never had a drink his damn life. Now, if they want to ban any kind of damn drug, you need to ban that alcohol. Damn near killed me. I wouldn't take a penny for all the fun I had, though, but it damn near killed me back in 2011. But I laid down the hops. But that's one good thing. You can at least look at me. I'm up at I got up at 4:30 this morning on the day shift now. I used to be on the night shift. You know, I'd stay up all night. But hell, this war, and when I start doing these videos, you're going to see me in a green T-shirt. And that green T-shirt I wore back in the military, in the Navy, and I was involved with the Navy in a little bit of a little crew, a little team, and that's what we wore: green shirts and khaki pants, or cutoffs, or not cutoffs, but or short pants. So I'm back at. This is it's time to suit up. It's reveille. If we don't do something within the next year, do you know that it's exactly 1 year before the elections? Something like that. Pretty damn close. We need to team up. We need 1 million people to join with us so we can have a group of eyes and ears, you know, friends of Paul Revere, that are researchers, and our goal is to be able to, when the SOS, when the shit hits fan, that we can call on, send a blast out to any state, any city in the U.S., and we can have eyes and ears on the ground. We can find out firsthand for ourselves. And when those people bring that content back that we need, we're going to flip these people a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter for the work that they did. And I've already built a platform. Looks just like damn Facebook. Last night I stayed up pretty late with my programmer getting this damn thing ready. You should see it. It looks just like Facebook. Instead of like, repeat, and all that stuff, it's penny, nickel, dime, quarter. So, you know, you can sit around, throw you a buck and a kitty, divided up into what we call pennies, P-E-N-E-E-S, pennies. That's our internal private currency. We're going to... whatever you call it, with your worthless paper fiat, you can convert it over into our little in-house tokens of appreciation we call pennies and pence. A pen is a full dollar, U.S. dollar, 100 pennies. Let me tell you something. When it comes down to solving problems, if you'll just let the human go, let the boy run, and they'll come up with a solution. We'll MacGyver this thing together. By God, we can save this country. Now, if you want to be a part of history, if you want to be a part of positive history for this damn country, join with me. I hadn't even got kicked off yet. Let me get on with this thing right here. Look at what's going on out there in them fires in California. Now, let me give you my take on this. I've lived all over California. And I lived up in Arrowhead, lived up in Santa Rosa, which is on fire right now. And These fires to me were some good pictures. There's some good ones. And in Colorado, good God, Lizzie. A good friend of mine, Steve and Liz, live up in a little place that don't even like to give out the name because we're trying to keep it private. The damn thing hadn't changed since we bunked up there when we was hippies back in the late 60s and early 70s up there above Boulder in the hills of Colorado. And they're all turned liberal as a piece of shits too. Now, even though I'm an old hippie, the damned hippies, they still got that mindset of peace, love, dove, and that's good. That's good. But you need to bow up every now and then, and you don't need to be... These people down there in Boulder and Denver laying on the street, and now they're all wanting to give them tents out free and maybe a little business card or something. Yeah, I lay on this corner here. Whatever. That's not helping anything. What you need to do is empower these people. Empower them. Get them out of there, for God's sake. All these hollow buildings everywhere in all these cities, hell, renovate that. And stick you about 1,000 or so in there and monitor them and help them out, for God's sake. Anyway, these fires, my take on these fires is this. They're starting these fires. Let me see if I can get some better pictures. Just a second. I'll be right back. All right, this one right here, it says California fires today. So this is what's shaking out there today, people. How you like it? Little warm, little what? And all these things right here are fires that's going on in California. And it's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Let me see if I can find Deborah Tavares. And we also have with these fires, what's happened to these fires is they're going on, they're burning out there. And damn, there's a big story about the Rothschilds. They're with PG&E. Big story, but we need time to sit down in a group and we can talk on a conference call that I'm fixing to start, people's conference call. Have it every night. Come in there and listen. If you chime in and say something worth of crap, then we will, has any value, we'll tip you penny, nickel, dime, quarter. And so that'd be a little revenue stream for people who've got some sense. And so these fires, they're starting them out in the suburbs. The people got money in California. Hell, it's expensive out there. And then what's that doing? That's not going to, that's causing those people to get the hell out. I mean, they turn the damn cities off, for God's sake. If you're on dialysis or you got an icebox full of good old whatever, it's gone. They shut it off a couple, 3 weeks. And can you imagine the money lost of everything up there? Hell, they said they had to leave the electric cars up there because you couldn't drive them out, no place to charge them. Oh, shit. There goes Tesla. But, so they're driving the people that have some money out of California. Gavin Newsom has gone nuts. He's the nephew of Nancy Pelosi. Can you believe that shit? And so it's just one big cluster out there, one big incestuous cluster screw out there. So these people are affluent people or middle class people. They're going to other places like Austin, big cities, Texas. They're going to states that don't have as much taxes. And guess what they're bringing with them? Their sick ass mind. And so this tier above us that have this agenda, that is they're weaponizing relocation, because now these sick pricks are going to come over to the states that are trying to hold on to this country and the Constitution, the rule of law, and they're contaminating those cities. I say no, Texas. By God, let's bow up. If you come, you're welcome. I think they should have a moratorium that you can't, if you move into a city within X number of within a year or two of an election, a presidential election or whatever, you can't vote. Or for a solid year, you can't vote. In that state, you'd have to be a resident still of the other state. That keeps them from contaminating the good states or the states that are trying. Yeah, boy, what a mess we've got. So that's what I think's happening with them California fires. Now, you got these volcanoes going on out there. Hell, they've got as many little dots on the map of these volcanoes as you can see. What is happening with this thing as they do those fires? This is called the Ring of Fire. This is volcanoes all up and down the damn globe here, all this stuff. And now they're saying that they have subsurface in the Pacific off the coast of Washington State. They have got subsurface. This is what they're talking about right here. They've got subsurface volcanoes and eruptions. By God, if one of them pops, and they said, you hear this, it's due time and all this, but hellfire. Now, I mean, even though 1 million years ago they said about 1 million years it might happen. Hell, we're there. Hello, as Rex Bear says, hello. And they say if one of them popped just right in a sequence of them, it could drive lava through a tunnel subsurface up into our triangle of fire up near Yellowstone and what have you, call the plates to shift, and you got trouble then. It could happen any damn time. Now, with the way all this we're hearing about weather manipulation and being able to create magnetic forces set off a volcano. And it'll also, you don't have to have an EMP, to knock out power. You can use electronic magnetic pulse, and come through there. That is an EMP, but they can create these waves and fry every copper wire in a given area. And why would they do this? I mean, we just have questions that we need answers to, and it needs your help to do research. Keep your eyes and ears open. Join this channel. We're going to be launching the Rabbit Hole Herald, the Friends of Paul Revere, and the Silent Supporters Society within the next 2 weeks. You come up and join, tell all your friends to join, because I need all the eyes and ears I can get. If I teach you just right how to do this, all I want people to do is go out and tell folks to please watch 3 movies. Listen to me and watch 3 movies. It's going to be movies about how the Federal Reserve banking system works. They have been screwing us without any Vaseline, opening up an umbrella, and we just been smiling, asking them to shove a little harder. Seriously, that might sound a little gross, but that's what's happening. And guess what? Everybody's turning their head, and they are turning a blind eye to it. Or either they're idiots. Well, again, the woodchucks and the rednecks down here, we're not idiots. We can see through it. We're not living in that fake world. We're living in the real world. Now, Deborah Tavares, she has this right here. It's on Sean's show on SGT Report. Listen to what she has to say briefly.
What everyone needs to clearly understand is what is occurring. What is occurring is a restriction of all resource consumption above what is needed to supply vital human needs. And that restriction is saying anything above vital human needs is immoral, and that the human population must be reduced, because they claim in the climate action plans usage must be reduced to 1750. This is back in the 1700s, where we did not use equipment or machinery to drop the greenhouse gas emissions effectively so that we can prevent the weather from changing. There is nowhere to hide, nowhere. These are global agendas adopted globally everywhere.
Hey guys, this interview is not to be missed. Deb Tavares has so much to say, and I pretty much just let her roll. This is eye-opening, sobering information, shockingly frightening stuff. You're going to want to share this with your friends and family. And before we...
Please do. Please share that with your friend and family. You can find it on YouTube. SGT Report, or just type in fires-behind the smoke, and the death agendas. That's a very good thing to follow, as well as Sean is. Follow his website. We're going to be supporting Sean quite a bit. Another great intel provider, an ISP, I call him, is Clyde Lewis. Clyde is, let me reduce this. You can see it a little bit more if it'll let me. It's not letting me. Clyde had a great show on last night about the UN deal. He had this Ben McClintock on there, and it was a great show, very, very great show that they had. I recommend you listen to Clyde Lewis. Great show he had last night. Great show. One of my mainstay ISPs, believe it or not, is old Rex Bear. Rex is an unbelievable researcher, and he's also on top of this California fire thing. We have been watching it. Look at here. Anytime they do these military drills, excuse me just a Anytime they do these military drills, there's a military drill outside of Sandy Hook. There's a military drill up outside of that while that shooting in Vegas was going on. There's a damn military drill just about every one of these big shootings is one of these things where a bunch of people get killed. UN had a military drill over there in Southern California. Imagine that. Rex follows a tremendous amount of topics, and I want to introduce you to Rex, and we're going to be supporting Rex a lot. Here's another one. Major military war games at 29 Palms, California. Unbelievable. He's on top of his game. Rex is a great guy. Go over to Rex's The Leak Project, and he has a wonderful site over there that just packed full of content that we need to know about. I'm going over to his site now, I do believe, see if I put it in correct. The Leak Project. No, I'm going to say it's probably like, anyway, we'll get back to that another time. Adam Schiff. Real quickly, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going long, it's 25 minutes. This is way long for what I want to try to do these things in 10 minutes. Look at what we found. We found the whistleblower that Adam Schiff is talking about. And it's a cat named Eric Charmella. That's what they're saying now. I'm not saying that's him, but that's what they're saying. That's open source news telling us this right here. This is going to be a cluster. These people have no clue of what's fixing to fall down on them. Now, all of the sheeple that are into gimme, 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 and and that's what's happening out there. They're gonna whimper and all this, but the hammer's fixing to fall. We need your help to do research, take pictures, share your opinion. Your opinion matters if it has value, and we've got you help me. The more people that you can help me expose to this team that we're creating, this community, an army of eyes and ears. This is no joke. This is real. This is a tactical maneuver that we're placing, that I'm putting together here. This isn't a deal to put together so that y'all can make $20,000 additional a month, which you can, but that's a byproduct of helping us make this country stay great. Okay, the only barometer we're going to have is how much cash you have in your pocket, because water the horses, they run faster. It's hard for you to run if you're sitting on a 5-gallon bucket fishing on the river for food. And so that same person might be packed with information that they do research on. Become a member, it's free. Lob $1, $1, $2, $5, whatever, and divide it up into pennies. You participate supporting other people, helping them get out of the same boat. Invite as many people as you can. There's going to be a reward for you helping us get more minds. We don't, on this end, we don't need the money as much as we need the minds. We need to be able, we have 1 million people that are patriots, that love this country and the rule of law, that use critical thinking and common sense to make their decision. When we blast out, we need help. We need help in Newark, New Jersey. Right now, they're having an issue at City Council that's going to change the direction of Newark, and we can't let it happen. Well, boom, 1 million people, and we have a point person in Newark. 1 million people can flip that person. 25 cents, that's $250,000. Boom, we're there. We're Soros. We're George Soros. We can do it, people. We can do it. Help me. Help me. This came to me from the ambient. I financed the whole thing. I'm asking you don't have to pay a single penny on this module of this ecosystem. Join this site and listen to these videos. Get as many people as you can to listen, freely listen. And then when we open the doors, you're going to be surprised at how much manna you wake up and see is in your front yard because you did the right thing. Truth pays. Patriotism, loving your country pays. It has value. And others will recognize your value when you're authentic and true. And you're coming from a position of truth and honesty, because once a person who is honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken or they cease to be honest. What say you? If you haven't already, hit this little button down here below. It says subscribe. There'll be a little bell next to it. Hit it. It will notify you when the Spirit moves me, and you can watch my videos. We're crying out to you. Your country needs you. Stand up. Be counted. Ramblin' Randy, we down.